Listen Live icon.
And if you want to hear one of your favorite WHOW programs when you want to,
Just click on the Audio On Demand icon.
WHOW programming is there when you want it. Just another service from the big 1520 AM and 92.3 FM WHOW.
News time, 9 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Friday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 8 o'clock newscast. We stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. A rural DeWitt County school district is pouring over $1 million into its facilities this summer with a sharp focus on preparing students for booming careers in the trades. On Thursday's WHOW Morning Show, Superintendent of DeLand-Weldon Schools, Dr. Michael Tresnick, told Regional Radio the upgrades include ceiling repairs, fresh paint, and a major boost to their ag classroom.
We approved our contractor, CBI, out of Champaign.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing about $1.25 million in renovations this summer. We're going to, on the elementary side, put in new ceilings, new lighting, new emergency lighting, major cleanup, just to get that all taken care of. And then on the high school side, which we did last summer, but we're going to finish out a couple things. We're going to renovate our family consumer science lab with new electrical, new lighting. We're going to put in professional level sinks so that we can train the kids and work on safe surf certification for them. So it's going to be a major upgrade. It probably has not happened since that building has been built and since that lab was been established. We don't think that's ever had a renovation. So we're excited about that, to get all that fixed. It's 1960s electrical in there. 1960 electrical doesn't work these days. We're going to upgrade all that. And then on our ag side, we're going to renovate that space, new lighting, some paint. We're going to put in 4 welding booths. We're excited about that. We're going to have to put a wall in to separate the classroom from the lab space, but it's going to be a lot of updates, electrical, just to make that space more usable and more functional as we move forward and do more in that area.
According to Dr. Tresnick, the ag class is in its first year, has had a lot of interest, and they are aiming to keep it growing.
It went well. We had a number of kids involved in it. Growing pains. We haven't had it for 30 years or something like that. So we're continuing to build, and that was one of. We waited a year to do this renovation that we're doing this summer. This is kind of get a feel of what we needed to do. And that's what's led to the different things we're going to try to get done this summer with that renovation as part of making opportunities. I have a long-term goal. If there's someone out there who wants to donate a greenhouse to us, we would love to get a greenhouse put in. We got the room. We're going to probably be we need to develop at some point an FFA plot. We've talked about even getting chickens and selling eggs. And I think if we had that in place, we would have been able to make enough money to buy a greenhouse with what the egg prices were this year.
Dr. Tresnick believes education needs a major shift in how it prepares students for the next phase of life. While some students will go on to 4-year universities, he explains many others will not, and education needs to introduce them to options available.
And we have a great relationship with Heartland Academy, which is at Richland College. That's our CTE provider. Our goal is to provide those introductory courses like you talked about and have them in our space. And if the kids really have an interest, then they can go down to Heartland and take advanced welding, get into auto mechanics, get into the culinary arts. All of those things are available to them. But what we're going to be able to do is give them an introduction and just kind of show them, hey, are you interested? Do you have an interest here? And if they do, we can provide that next step for them through Heartland and everything we're doing. Now, I think it's time. Maybe it's a political thing, whatever, but it's time as public schools, we really look at how we are branding ourselves, and we got to look at what is it we are doing for our kids to get them ready for that next step. Public schools have gotten a lot of different press, let's say, out there. Well, instead of complaining about what's being said about us, we need to change our image, and we need to, and this is one way we can do that. And, at DeLand-Weldon, we're dedicated to finding these different paths to help our kids. What we can show kids nowadays, you can graduate from high school and be in these programs, get into an apprentice program, whatever, and make a really good living and find that a lifetime. Take a welder, for instance. If you know what you're doing around welding, you can get hooked up with so many different companies and be there forever because you have that trade.
Yeah.
And it's not meaning going and having to do 4 or 8 or 12 years of college. You can go out there right now and make that good living.
The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that construction and extraction occupations will see about 663,500 job openings annually through 2033, driven by growth and the need to replace retiring workers. However, many of these roles risk going unfilled due to a shrinking pool of skilled tradespeople. Only 2 new workers enter the field for every 5 who retire, making it a prime opportunity for high school graduates to step in. Trades like plumbing, electrical work, and carpentry require hands-on skills, adaptability, and problem solving that AI and automation cannot easily replicate. A 2023 World Economic Forum report highlighted that jobs demanding dexterity and real-world troubleshooting are among the last to be automated, ensuring long-term job security for students who pursue these careers. Enrollment in vocational-focused community colleges jumped 16% from 2022 to 2023, according to the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center, reflecting a shift among young people towards trades over traditional 4-year degrees. The trend, fueled by high college costs and a desire for quicker, debt-free paths to stable careers, signals a bright future for students in trades straight out of high school. A local collegiate rowing competition comes to Clinton Lake this weekend. Kurt Homan, executive director of the DeWitt County Development Council, explains the University of Illinois men's and women's rowing team will be among numerous teams competing on Clinton Lake this weekend.
Yeah, Illinois Rowing, the University of Illinois, they will have 16 to 20 collegiate men's rowing teams and then 16 to 20 collegiate women's rowing teams.
Wow.
And so that's always a fun event, and it's just great to have the extra traffic that comes into the county, and something associated with the University of Illinois is really cool also.
Holman expects this to be a big event for Clinton with all the athletes, families, and spectators that come to town. It could be a good opportunity for local business to capitalize on the increased traffic.
There's several hundred. I know the parking, there's not enough parking at the access point, so they bus folks in from Blue Ridge High School with buses that run all day every 15 minutes out to the lake, and it's 800 or 900, I would estimate, and I go out there. I can't stay out there all day. Rowing is it's a lot different than watching basketball for sure. But that being said, it's still a great event, and I would encourage anyone that wants to see what it's all about. It's at the Liberty Road access point.
Learn more about the event and all things DeWitt County Development Council by visiting their Facebook page as well. News time, 17 minutes after 8 o'clock here on this Friday morning, rather. We stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. A look at local sports comes your way next. Winners on the baseball diamond included Clinton in an 11-inning marathon. Monticello, Maroa-Forsyth winners in baseball yesterday. Monticello, Argenta-Oreana, Maroa-Forsyth winners on the softball diamond. Those stories come up next in sports.
Hear Clinton Maroon live play-by-play this season on WHOW, the Big 1520 daytime, 92.3 FM in DeWitt County and 106.5 in Bloomington Normal all the time. Plus, streamed at DeWittDailyNews.com on the WHOW mobile app and Amazon Alexa. Plus, hear a best of Clinton sports broadcast Saturday mornings at 10. All brought to you by Keith Wade, your country financial representative, Studio 505, and our exclusive sponsor for our player of the game, Serve Pro of Piatt DeWitt Counties, the leader in fire, water, and mold restoration.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. Josh Bass's run-scoring single in the top of the 11th inning sent Clinton past Tuscola in an 11-inning marathon 4-3 win in Central Illinois Conference high school baseball action Thursday in Tuscola. The Maroons rallied in the 11th, started with 2 outs. Jack Manning hit an infield single, and Colton Walker walked to set up first and second with 2 outs. Off on contact, Manning scored on Bass's base hit to right field to give the Maroons the 4-3 lead. Manning got the start going 5 innings and allowing 3 runs. 2 were earned on 3 hits with 4 strikeouts. Preston Curtis got the win with 6 scoreless innings of relief. The junior struck out 5, permitted 2 hits, and walked 2. He worked around a leadoff walk in the 11th to close out the win. Cole Fentress was 2 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs to lead the Maroons. Ryan Pine was 3 for 5 with an RBI. Josh Bass finished 2 for 6 with a double and added an RBI. Manning and Walker each had 2 hits for Clinton. The Maroons improved to 5-4 overall and 2-0 in the Central Illinois Conference. They'll host DMAC on Saturday. Monticello broke through, scoring 3 unanswered runs late to double up Hayworth 4-2 in non-conference high school baseball action Thursday in Monticello. Trailing 2-1, Carter Foran started the 5th inning by reaching on an error. Ike Young bunted for a base hit, and Foran took third on the play. A passed ball scored Foran and moved Young to second base to tie the game at 2. Colton Vance singled home Young to give the Sages the lead for good at 3-2. In the 6th inning, Foran and Young drew back-to-back walks before an Eli Kraft base hit scored Foran to make the score 4-2. Forrest Rodden allowed 2 runs and 2 innings of work to start the game for Monticello. Gatsby Grant followed with 5 shutout innings of relief. The senior struck out 4 and allowed 4 hits. Vance finished 2 for 4 with an RBI for Monticello. Young and Dawson Gitros were 2 for 3, while Foran scored 3 of the 4 Monticello runs. Logan Mills was 1 for 2 with a double and run scored to lead Hayworth. Parker Bell was 1 for 2 with an RBI. Monticello improves to 10-2 overall. They will host IVC on Saturday for an Illini Prairie Conference tilt. Mitch Williams went the distance in a 1-run complete game as Maroa-Forsyth dispatched Athens 6-1 in Sangamo Conference high school baseball action from Athens on Thursday. Williams struck out 8 and permitted 5 hits with 1 walk. Tate Brendenberg was 3 for 4 with a double and run scored to lead the Trojans. Caden Rose finished 2 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. Grady Rose was 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI for Maroa-Forsyth. The Trojans improved to 7-3 overall and 2-0 in the Sangamo. They will hit the road for a Saturday game against Bismarck-Henning. Mount Pulaski opened Tomahawk Conference action with a 5-3 win over Delavan Thursday afternoon in Delavan. Eric Cooper, Liam Smith, Aaron Volley, and Preston Cowan had RBIs for the Hilltoppers. Mount Pulaski jumped out to a 4-0 lead after a 3-run second inning. Delavan rebounded with 3 runs in the 4th inning to cut the deficit to 4-3, but the Hilltoppers came back with a run in the top of the 5th for the final tally. Luke Martin had 3 runs across 4 hits, allowed 3 runs on 4 hits across 6 innings for the win. He struck out 6 and walked 3. The Hilltoppers improved to 6-2 overall and 1-0 in the Tomahawk Conference. They traveled to Decatur to take on MacArthur on Saturday morning. Normal Community scored 7 unanswered runs and won its 5th straight in a 7-4 win over Champaign Central Thursday in Big 12 high school baseball action from Normal. The Ironmen fell behind 4-0 after the top of the 1st inning, but scored 5 runs in the 2nd, then 2 more in the 4th. Max Heineman doubled, tripled, and drove in 3 to lead Normal Community. Gavin Swartz finished 4 for 4. Swartz settled down after a 4-run 1st inning and went the distance for the Ironmen. He permitted 4 runs, 3 of which were earned on 6 hits with 9 strikeouts to just 2 walks. Normal Community improves to 7-3 overall and 5-0 in the Big 12. They travel to Champaign for a Friday game against Central. In a game heard on WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com, Cassidy Stoffel twirled 6 shutout innings and hit a solo home run, leading Monticello past 50 and Oakwood 3-0 in non-conference high school softball action from Monticello on Thursday. Stoffel's solo home run put the Lady Sages up 2-0. After she allowed a leadoff base hit and then a one-out walk, she proceeded to sit down the next 14 batters in a row. Stoffel struck out 9 in 6 innings while issuing just 1 walk and permitting 3 hits. She was also 2 for 3 at the plate. Isabiri was 2 for 3 with an RBI. Her run-scoring single in the 5th inning made it 3-0. The Lady Sages go to 11-2 overall. They will host IVC Saturday morning for an Illini Prairie Conference tilt. Clinton fell behind early and could not dig out of a 5-run deficit in an 8-6 loss to Tuscola in Central Illinois Conference high school softball action Thursday in Tuscola. The Lady Warriors gradually pulled out to a 5-0 lead before the Lady Maroons answered with a 4-run 5th inning. Annalise Thompson and Avery Smith hit back-to-back 2-run scoring singles to cut the deficit to 5-4. The Lady Warriors got a run back in its half of the top of the inning to go up 6-4. Tuscola would add 2 more runs in the 6th. Hadley Humble scored 2 with a base hit in the top of the 7th, but Clinton could not get the tying run home as they had runners at first and second with 2 outs. Ava Boyer led Tuscola, finishing 2 for 4 with a home run, a triple, and 3 RBIs. Smith was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs to lead the Lady Maroons. Thompson was 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Humble finished 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs, and Ariana Humes had a double. Clinton is 2-5 overall and starts 0-1 in the CIC. They'll host El Paso Gridley on Saturday. Maroa-Forsyth scored 3 runs in the 11th inning, then held off Athens for a 9-8 marathon back-and-forth win in Sangamo Conference high school softball action from Athens Thursday. The Lady Trojans went up 3-0 in the top of the 3rd. Athens answered back with single runs in the 3rd and 4th innings to trail 3-2. Maroa-Forsyth put 2 runs on the board in the 6th to go up 5-2. A 3-run 6th inning tied the game for Athens. Each team scored a run in the 7th inning to force extra innings, tied at 7. Taylor Crouch was 3 for 6 with a homer, a double, and 4 RBIs, and scored 2 runs to lead the Lady Trojans. Aubrey Stewart finished 4 for 6. Adeline Simmons was 2 for 4 with a pair of doubles. Peyton Torbert was 3 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Maggie Ravenscraft finished 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI. Maroa-Forsyth is 7-2 and moves to 2-0 in the Sangamo. They'll host Decatur St. Teresa on Monday. Bryn Jones drove in 4 runs to lead Argenta-Oreana over Okaw Valley 21-0 in a Lincoln Prairie Conference rout in high school softball action Thursday in Bethany. Jones was 2 for 4 with a double and 4 RBIs. Sophia Wickland was 2 for 2 with a double and 3 RBIs for the Lady Bombers. Elisa Armstrong drove in 2, while Angelina Madrigal finished 2 for 2 with a double, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. Armstrong twirled 4 shutout innings, allowing just 1 hit and struck out 4. The Lady Bombers are 3-6 overall and 2-0 in the Lincoln Prairie. They'll host Decatur St. Teresa on Saturday. Stephen Kwan had a homer and 3 singles. He drove in 4 runs to lead the Guardians over the White Sox 6-1 to complete a 3-game sweep.
The White Sox have now lost 8 in a row, including 6 on this past road trip, which concluded with a sweep at the hands of the Guardians and Stephen Kwan.
And he swings and pulls a fly ball out into deep right, and it is gone. He just got it over the wall. A 2-run shot for Kwan. It's 4-1.
Kwan finished the day 4 for 5, driving in 4 in Cleveland's 6-1 victory over the Sox. Back to the South Side as the White Sox welcome the Red Sox to Wright Field for a 3-game series this weekend. I'm Jeff Meller, and I'll have your pregame coverage starting at 6 p.m. for White Sox and Red Sox on ESPN 1000, Hard Rock Casino, White Sox Network.
And the Sox return to the WHOW airwaves tonight. Denny Hamlin earned his 2nd consecutive win in Darlington, holding off William Byron after a perfectly executed pit stop. The Joe Gibbs racer will look to become the 2nd driver this year to win 3 straight races when the Cup Series heads to Bristol this weekend. Leading a race-high 163 laps, Hamlin took the win over teammate Martin Truex Jr. in a race that saw a record-breaking 54 lead changes. Practice and qualifying is 1 o'clock on Saturday. Race time is 2 o'clock on Sunday. Brandon Jones took the checkered flag in Darlington, earning his first win in 98 races and the 6th of his career. The Xfinity Series returns to Bristol for a spring race this weekend for the first time since 2020. Practice and qualifying is Saturday morning at 10:30. Race time is 4 o'clock on Saturday evening. Daniel Hemrick, who led a race-high 149 of 200 laps, secured a victory at Martinsville after a late race pass of teammate Tyler Ankrum. The Craftsman Truck Series runs at Bristol this weekend, where last year Christian Eckes earned his first win of the season, maintaining the lead after passing Kyle Busch with 92 to go. Race time is 2:30 this practice and qualifying is 2:30 this afternoon. Race time is 6:30 tonight. Get sports anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
ServPro of Piatt DeWitt Counties is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of severe weather coverage on all of WHOW's platforms.